Hello, lovelies. Welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name is Freedom, and this evening's episode is about the narcissist and pets. I think it's really important that people realise that narcissists will use pets as tools and weapons. And to be honest, pets are at risk from narcissists. Before I start though, if you like any of my videos, please like and subscribe to the channel, and feel free to share the video to any other platform that would help me grow the channel, and I appreciate it. Hang on one second, I think this light's quite dark. Okay, so this is the way that narcs view pets. Speaking of pets, hi. First of all, like they view everything really. They're a means to an end. So, for example, everyone loves puppies and kittens, and narcissists know the fuel that a new puppy or a new kitten gets them. So they quite often will bring home a kitten or bring home a puppy. Usually you've had an argument, because they know that as soon as you see, a helpless little tiny kitten, that whatever anger you had or whatever argument, went down, you'll forget about it. Your kind of maternal instinct, I suppose, will take over, and you'll be looking after this little kitten before you know it, and you'll have forgotten completely about the argument and why they'd gone, why they'd left in the first place. So they really don't care about using, pets as a tool like that. As I said, they love puppies. They love walking their, little puppies around town, and everyone going, "Oh my God, look how sweet it is!" And they love bragging about, "Oh yeah, it's a pedigree," and that kind of thing. That gives them fuel. So the pet is actually enabling them to get, fuel and supply daily, and that's great. What's not so great is that pets aren't just for Christmas. They're not just a short-term thing. And when it comes to the responsibility of looking after a pet, narcs are quite neglectful, and they will often just leave kind of all the pet rearing on their partners, and things like, worming or vet bills or whatever, that's kind of luxury items in their mind. And usually narcissists don't really like spending money on their pets, because why would they? They're just things that can be replaced. When I think back over my relationship with the narcissist, and the amount of dogs that he had, I mean, that should have been my kind of red flag there. I must admit, as the relationship progressed, I had, really deep moments of concern, but because, as we all were, I was so caught up in what was going on. I believed his lies, believed his bullshit, and I didn't do anything. And I actually feel deep sadness and regret that I didn't protect his pets better, that I didn't, stop him from owning pets, because he wasn't a good pet owner. And in fact, I remember, one particular instance where, although he didn't actually hurt my dog, what he did was we'd had this huge argument, and he was giving me the silent treatment, and it had gone on for, hours. And he was outside in the garden furiously digging a hole, and the hole was the size and shape of my dog, because I had a big dog. She was a Roddy Cross. Anyhow, he's digging the shape of my dog, and let me sit with anxiety and fear. I think it kind of went on for the whole day, or maybe it was the next day, when he then decided last minute to turn it into a pond. Not that it ever actually became a pond. He just played a whole game about, you know, letting me be in fear, worrying about my pet, and, you know, learning my manners and putting me in my place. And then, as I said, last minute, you know, pretending, oh no, what are you doing? No, don't be so silly. As if I would do that. No, I'm just out here fuming, you know, because we've had this fight, and I'm fuming and digging you a pond, you know. Like, their lies don't even make sense. This is the thing. They really don't. So animal cruelty. Animal cruelty is a real issue with narcs because, as I said, they just forget about anyone or anything that isn't providing them with fuel. So they forget to feed their pets. They leave them, you know, on chains. They leave them locked up for days. You know, they see them as replaceable. They don't see them like most people see them, you know, as family members. And as I said, I've witnessed my ex kick his dog in the face, full kick it with his boot, you know, big work boot, straight in the face, you know, because it was trying to get off the balcony and he didn't want it, and he had to, you know, he was in such a rush. You know, that's animal cruelty, and that kind of thing is just not okay. And as I said, you know, when I look back over his history of animals, they were all so. The first dog, you know, when he realised it was just too much work and he couldn't, you know, because he hadn't trained it, because they never train their dogs. They just expect them to obey them and, you know, make them look good. And if a dog doesn't make them look good, so if they're not a pedigree, if they're not well behaved, you know, if they do silly things, you know, if it doesn't make them look good, they don't really want them. But the first dog, like I said, started to misbehave, digging holes, I think the problem was. So rehomed him. I mean, that was fine. At least he rehomed him. However, I didn't realise at the time, you know, I thought, okay, that's a sign that he actually cares for the dog because he's trying to find him a better home. But in actual fact, it was just because he wanted to get a new dog. And so the next one was a pedigree dog that he'd gotten. And, you know, and she was beautiful, and she had papers. Oh, no, sorry, she didn't have papers, but she was quite obviously a pedigree staffy. Gorgeous dog. But the same kind of thing again, you know, because he didn't train his dogs, because he just let them, he either left them on the lead or chained up. And so, you know, she ran away. Well, she disappeared. To be honest, I don't even know. Like, I don't believe a word that man says. She may have disappeared. It may have gone down that way, like he says, or he may know what happened to her. I honestly couldn't tell you. So we'll just leave it at that. You know, but anyhow, the next dog came along, Boss. So poor old Boss spent his entire life on a chain. Once he was not a cute puppy anymore, he was just on the chain, until he found another dog that he wanted to replace Boss with. Duke. Duke was also a pedigree. You know, loved Duke because Duke was a pedigree. Duke was beautiful. Duke also spent most of his life on a chain, alone, just going kind of mad, really, because he's just chained up all the time. No, you know, because he doesn't train, I said because he doesn't train the dogs, he doesn't spend time with the dogs. You know, dogs are social creatures. They need to be around their pack, their people. Like, for example, every single video that I have recorded has been with my dog at my feet, because she's just always wherever I am. And that's the way dogs like it. They're pack creatures. They're not supposed to be alone. And when they are alone, and when they're left on a chain with, you know, just bags of food for days and weeks on end, that makes them go crazy. Which leads me to his last dog, who was gorgeous, but she was a little bit cross-eyed and she was a little bit dumb-diddly. That wasn't her fault. She would have been a beautiful dog, but he didn't train her. He didn't socialise her with other dogs. He kept her locked on a lead, you know, in her own shit, under the house. I mean, it was just horrific. Like, honestly, as I said, I have to live with the guilt that I didn't protect these animals, you know, and that is my guilt to bear. And sadly, she ended up, this is after he and I separated, she ended up apparently attacking other dogs and having to be put down. Once again, whether or not that story is true, I don't know. But I do know that there is a pattern there of neglect, cruelty, and seeing pets as convenient. He just doesn't care. Honestly, just doesn't care. So if you have pets and if you have a narcissist, please know that when you are not around, right, they will kick the pets. My children told me that when I was overseas, that he kicked this little dog that I've got here, that he actually kicked her across the room, literally launched her across the room. She's a tiny little dog, but because she was my dog, he took out his anger and resentment on her. So if you have pets, they are at risk. They can't talk to you. They can't tell you what's going on. But that's why they're, even more so at risk from a predator. Remember that. Narcs are angry individuals. They're frustrated in life. They need a whipping boy. And if you don't let them take out their violence on you, they're going to take it out on someone. So if you've got pets available, that'll be who it is. So yeah, and I mean, this is not just my own personal story. I've spoken to so many women who have had their pets hurt, murdered, tortured, or used. You can go, but you're not taking the pets. That kind of thing. So as I said, yeah, just understand your pets are not safe with a narcissist. No one's really safe with a narcissist. All right, darlings, I just wanted to say that quick message because I think it's really important. And as far as I can tell, no one's really addressing it. It's just one of those things that I think that most narc victims are aware of. But I think we need to actually have like a public service announcement for the animals' sake. Okay, narcs are not good pet owners. Look at how they treat their dogs. Look at how they treat their pets. It's a good indicator of the kind of treatment that's either coming your way or how they would treat you if they could treat you that way and get away with it. All right, darlings, thank you for watching.